Okay, so I'm going to try again, make a video. So these are the three equations that we're going to start with. While you can do the substitution method with these ones, because you are going to get into fractions a little bit, it is much easier to actually do the elimination method. And that's the other method that your teacher was showing you. And it's honestly really simple once you get it, so I'm going to show you how to do that one. So first of all, we're going to take two of our equations, and the idea is to be able to cancel out a variable. And so when you're looking at these three equations, the easiest variable to cancel out is going to be this z right here. Because you've got a negative here, you've got a positive one here, so they're going to pretty much cancel out pretty easy. So let's write those equations down. X plus 3y minus z equals negative 11, and 2x plus y plus z equals 1. Now we're just going to add those two together. So x plus 2x is going to be 3x. 3y plus y is going to be 4y. And a negative z and a positive z is just going to cancel each other out. And you've got negative 11 plus 1 is going to equal negative 10. So this is our first equation. Now, we need to get a second equation here. And so our choices, because we've already used the first and second, so we're either going to use the first and the third one, or the second and third. Now, the best thing to use for this one is going to be the first equation, because you already have a negative here. So you're going to be able to have the negatives and do it that way. So we're going to use this one, but in order to get it to cancel out, we're going to have to do some math. So let's rewrite those first. X plus 3y minus z equals negative 11, and 5x minus 2y plus 3z equals 21. So we want to be able to get these z's to cancel out again, and the easiest way is to multiply both of these sides by 3, because then you'll have a negative 3z. Hopefully you can see that. You'll have a negative 3z and the positive 3z right here, and so they'll cancel out. So we're going to multiply that and write it right down here. 3x plus 9y minus 3z equals negative 33. Don't forget to multiply both sides by that number. So then you go ahead and add that up again. 5x plus 3x is going to be 8x. 9y and negative 2y is going to give you a positive 7y. And these are going to cancel out. Negative 33 and 21 is going to give you negative 12. So we have our two equations now. So there's our first equation, and that's our second equation. Let's write those two down together so we can work those out. So now we're looking, and we have these two equations. And again, we want to be able to cancel out one of our variables. So our choice is either to make one of these a negative. So either this one's going to be a negative 8. This one can be multiplied to end up being a negative 7. You can end up changing this one to be a negative 3, or this one to be a negative 7. And it's kind of up to you. What I'm going to do is take this one right here, and I'm just going to multiply it by negative 3 over 8. And like I said, that's really just up to you. And make sure you do both sides. So as we work that one out, we're going to have this, the 8's are going to cancel them out. You have negative 3 right here. negative 3x. Negative 3/8 times that's going to be negative 21 over 8y equals positive 36 over 8. So now you can see that we've got a negative 3 here. Hopefully you can see that. We got the negative 3 and a positive 3. So now we just go ahead and do our math again. These are going to cancel themselves out. 4y and 21 over 8y, or minus 21 over 8y. And then negative 10 and 36 over 8. Now the easiest way to be able to do this is to get the same number here on the bottom. So we're just going to change this to be 32 over 8, because that's going to be the same thing as 4. Because 32 divided by 8 is 4. And then the same over here, we're going to turn this into negative 80 over 8. Because negative 80 divided by 8 is going to equal negative 10. So now you can put those down here. Get 3x plus 32 over 8y equals negative 80 over 8. And that's going to make your math a little bit easier for this one. So 32 minus 21, because you got a positive 32 over 8 minus 21 over 8, that's going to give you 11 over 8y equals negative 80 over 8 and a positive 36 over 8. It's going to give you a negative 44 over 8. So now you're going to have to get rid of this number so you get y by itself. And you can just multiply that by 8 over 11. And the same thing with here. Times 8 over 11. And as you see, those will cancel out and you end up with y equals negative 44 over 11, which is going to equal negative 4. And at that point, you can start going back to plug it in. If you know y equals negative 4, you can pick another equation. Let's just go to this one because it's right here. And you can plug in y equals negative 4. So we got 8x plus 7 times negative 4 equals negative 12. 8x minus 28 equals negative 12. Add 28 to both sides. 8x equals 16. Divide both sides by 8, and x equals 2. So now we've got our y equals negative 4, and x equals 2. So now you're going to go ahead, back up to your original equations, and plug those values in. To any of these equations is fine, whichever you want. I'm going to choose number 2 right here, just because it looks easy. So you're going to have 2, and x equals 2, so you get 2 times 2, plus y, which is negative 4, plus z equals 1. You just solve 4 minus 4 plus z equals 1. 4 minus 4 is going to be 0, so you end up with z equals 1. So that's what we end up with. Z equals 1, x equals 2, and y equals negative 4. And you can plug those into your equations to double check. So let's plug it in just to double check that we got the right answer. So we're going to use that first one, x plus 3y minus z equals negative 11. With our x equals 2, plus 3 times our y is negative 4, minus z, which is 1, equals negative 11. It's 2 plus negative 12 minus 1. And that's going to be 2 minus 12 is negative 10. minus 1 equals negative 11. So those are our answers. X 2, y is negative 4, and z is 1.